Throughout the history of storytelling, we have seen certain themes turn into standard, right? Turn into archetypes that we see time and time again, right? Archetypes like the Chosen One are especially common. These are the characters that, for one reason or another, are just crucial to the world. Characters like Harry Potter are destined to take down the bad guy. Obi-Wan literally calls Anakin the Chosen One. But a particular trope that I've been beginning to see more of as of late, it's the father-son relationship. Examples being Walter White and Jesse, Kratos and the infamous boy, Lee and Clementine. The original Last of Us had all of these cliches. It had zombies, it had the foster parent relationship with Joel and Ellie. Ellie was immune, making her the chosen one. And so my question for you guys is, how can a story that have all of these things that we've seen a million times, how can it still catch us off guard? How can it still keep us engaged when we've been seeing this sort of storytelling as far back as Greek mythology, right? So my question is, what was it that made the original Last of Us unique? Now, with that said, sorry for the cringe intro. I promise it'll make sense at the end. But now to actually get this started, I feel I have to address the community first, especially a week after the game's release. I have intentionally kept away from reviews and leaks and things like that just because I care about stupid things like coming up with my own opinions. Even still, I've heard the general consensus so far isn't good. I've seen a couple titles, seen a few thumbnails about the rampant flaws in the game. So if I take that to be the general reaction, then I have something a little different to say. So let's get started. Right, first off, the messaging is very clear. This is a story about women. While this by itself isn't a problem, it would be if instead of storytelling, we just had this concept blasted in our faces every 5 seconds. Fortunately, this isn't the case. This game follows the original's way of writing these characters, which is very truthfully and logically to how these women would act in real life. So, I mean, when you look at Abby, right, you see this tank, but actually on the inside, she's basically like a little girl, right? She's deadly afraid of heights. She hates breaking the rules and is kind of, hasn't gotten over her childhood trauma that, when her dad died in the hospital, never really able to move on. But really, this story is about perspectives, right? And Ellie's perspective was this.
Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up.
Oh my god. The game took 2 hours to let you in on what the main plot would be, which for many felt really slow. Understandably though, right? If the main plot of the game relies on Joel dying, then that's something you don't want to rush. And it was important for the latter part of Ellie's story for her to have something to lose aside from Joel, which is where Dina and Jesse come in. In retrospect, Ellie's part of the story demonstrated to me the clashing tones present in that part of the game, where this is a story about revenge. And having seen the promotional content for the game, everywhere you go you see Ellie's face and she's furious. Even in the trailer, right, she leaves a trail of bodies leading to her room and her hands are covered in blood. That anger doesn't translate well in game because The Last of Us traditionally is a very slow-paced and very stealth-centric kind of game. There wasn't that sense of urgency that you should feel when you watch basically your father get beat to death in front of you, right? With that said, Ellie's side packed so many beautiful moments, and these moments of innocence were incredible to watch. But then she learns the truth of what happened at that hospital and comes to the cold realization that the world would be a better place if she was dead. And even that really only served to set up the scene at the end, where they promise each other to just let it go. They promise to just forgive each other the day before Joel died. So that's my thoughts on Ellie's side. A bit rushed, a bit quick, but it's because I want to get to Abby, right? I think Abby is the main contention. I think if people have a major problem with this game, this has to be it, I feel. And this is where I say I actually think Abby's 3 days were better than Ellie's 3 days. In a way, it felt like Ellie's story was really only setting up Abby's story. If Ellie's 3 days were about revenge, then Abby's 3 days were about forgiveness, about finally facing her fears for the first time and just move on. I said earlier that on the outside she was a tank, and in my playthrough I even called her a Super Saiyan. But on the inside she was scared of heights, and in her story she faced that fear. I said she was always afraid of breaking the rules. Well, she breaks the rules by rescuing the enemy. In fact, in the enemy, she would find her future. And the horrible scene that she relives time and time again of that hospital slowly begins to change. It goes from this very dark hallway with this red, ominous lighting, and slowly over the course of her story, it starts to go back to normal. And at the end, she finds her dad again. I actually really liked Abby's story. I mean, I did hate Owen just because he talked like he was just permanently having a stroke. But I thought it was really well written, and we were forced to see things from her point of view. But that's the operative word, isn't it? Forced. This is where I take you back to the original question I posed at the beginning of the video, right? What made the original Last of Us unique? To me, it was Joel and Ellie. These two people who embark on this journey offer this faint glimmer of hope that Ellie's immunity could be used to create a vaccine to save the world. And you travel across the country through months and near-death experiences, and you finally get to the hospital, the moment you had spent 20 hours of choking out clickers to get to, and you find that they can't make a cure without killing Ellie in the process. And this is where the choice is made for you. This isn't a Telltale game. No, they forced you to make this choice. One that you might disagree with. You might think that Ellie's life is well worth the many lives it would save, right? But you don't get a choice. You are forced to kill everyone at that hospital. You are forced to carry Ellie out of that hospital and lie to her about what happened. The entire ending of Last of Us 1 is reliant on the connection between the player and Joel, between the player and Ellie. It's entirely reliant on you understanding why Joel would do this. Because if you don't, then what the fuck was the point of everything you just did? To just get to the end and just back out at the last minute. If you don't at least sympathize with Joel, then that ending is nothing short of empty. But it's safe to say that for most people, it worked. Because most people understood why Joel would do it. Because everyone who played that game had to watch him hold his daughter as she died. So you absolutely understand why he couldn't go through it again. Suddenly, an ending that in reality is just empty is given meaning. And that being, Joel is human. And that is what makes the original Last of Us unique. Which brings us now to part 2, where we're presented with the exact same scenario. If you cannot understand Abby, if you cannot sympathize with Abby, then the fact that they force you to play as Abby and experience the game from her eyes will feel like shit. The fact that you are forced to beat the shit out of Ellie when you're playing as Abby, like that's crazy. The fact that you have to almost kill Ellie is wild. If you don't at least understand why, then the ending, just like the original, will feel like what the fuck was the point, right? But here's the thing, that was a choice. That was a choice that the developers made. It wasn't a mistake, like Game of Thrones when Daenerys forgets about the Iron Fleet. Like, I'll never get over that shit. No. This had a purpose. The intention was there, but the question is, did it work? And I think this is what most of the community is seeing, because it didn't work. Right, this is why I've been seeing all this criticism and everything going on. Like the original, this ending entirely relied on one thing. I said that this story was about revenge, but I actually think it's a story about forgiveness. I think they forced you to play as Abby so that you could forgive her, so that when she ultimately spared Ellie, you understood how much that meant for her and her character. But it didn't work. After the 20 hours I put into this game, I still hated Abby. After 20 hours of playing this game, I still felt like Ellie was just a side character in her own story. After 20 hours of playing the game, it still felt like we just stopped in the middle of the story to experience Abby's side and the story didn't really progress. It kind of felt like it was just stuck at a single point, and it felt like we weren't going anywhere. I see how people could be disappointed. I see what everyone is probably talking about, right? I see what could be the rampant flaws that I've seen in some of these thumbnails. But instead of pointing out how the game could have been different, instead of pointing out how it could have been fixed, I'd rather applaud them for being bold. How do you make character tropes and stories that we have seen a million times interesting? You make bold choices. Make no mistake, writing this kind of story takes balls. The kind of balls we don't see often in media these days, right? And after the last 2 hours of the game, which were by far the best part of the game, by the way, Ellie goes back to the farm only to find that she's alone, right? That chasing this revenge literally cost her everything. Then she goes into her room, sees her guitar, which is meant to symbolize her connection to Joel, right? Them playing the guitar together is what kept them close, even after Ellie found out about what Joel did at the hospital. So she goes into her room and finds that because she chased this revenge, because she couldn't just forgive, she couldn't just move on, she lost her fingers, which means she can't play the guitar anymore.
Hey.
So stupid.
Look, I have no idea what that girl's intentions are, but I do know that she would be lucky to have you.
You're such an asshole.
I'm not trying to.
I was supposed to die in that hospital. My life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
Yeah. I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
I'd like that.
Okay. I'll see you around.
Yep.
I don't care who you are. I will argue with anyone who thinks that this ending wasn't beautiful. I love literature, I love storytelling, and I love video games, and even though I understand where they went wrong, I still have nothing but respect for this game. And it's honestly still one of my favorite games of all time. What I'm trying to do here is just point out something that might be getting lost amongst all the chatter and the negativity. Like, yes, this game made mistakes, but the main reason why the game didn't connect with most people was actually a choice, not a mistake. You know, like I also envision a game in which Abby's story is unlocked after you beat the game and is used only to provide context afterwards. Like, imagine if we had a full game of Ellie chasing down these people, right? Imagine if we got an accurate representation of how angry she was and watched it develop throughout an entire game. Suddenly, after we kill Owen and the pregnant chick, I don't remember her name because she didn't matter, suddenly Abby shows up and wrecks house with everyone, right? And then she lets you go. How crazy would that be? How crazy would it be that you literally killed all of her friends and the guy she loved, and then she just lets you go? Without context, without knowing what happened to Abby, that would be crazy. Then she tells you if she ever sees you again, she's gonna kill you. And listen, one look at her arms and you know she means that shit. But then you see her again, and then the first thing she says is, "Look, I don't want to fight." Like, what? And it's only after you beat the game and you play Abby's side that you finally understand her journey. Which is weird because I realized I said I wasn't gonna talk about how the game could have been better and instead just appreciate the choices they made, but whatever. You know, like Nike always says, fuck it, fam. Anyways, roll the outro.
They're down here.
Holy fuck, they actually just straight up. Oh my god, the RTX on graphics for the tears, bro.
I'm just a poor wayfaring
Ooh.
stranger
Good shots.
traveling through
Is that Shroud? Holy shit.
worlds of war.
Hey, for sure, brother. If you're Shroud, then I'm Tim the Tatman or whatever the fuck.
No toil, nor danger. In that
You fucking what? He just runs at me?
I go,
Huh?
I'm going there.
No, come at me, come at me. No, come at me. Watch these jukes. Watch these jukes. Not even close, pussy. Oh. Oh, no, come out. No, come on. Come the fuck over here, pussy. Oh shit, you got friends. Oh shit, you have friends. Oh, you trapped me. This was a mistake. This was a mistake. Fuck her up. Okay. Oh, the jukes. Ooh. Wait, it didn't stun lock him. Fucking die, you piece of shit. Come on. Come on.
I know dark
My name's Ellie, bitch. Oh, you're running. Come here. No, come here.
around me.
No, come here. You guys aren't so bad. What?
My way,
You okay? Wait a second. Okay, these guys.
and steal
Wait, these guys are whooping my ass. Wait, hold up. No. I'm gonna die. Okay, these guys.
where God's redeemed
Okay. I might have misjudged
vigils.
not just the sheer amount of these fucking things, but their capabilities in the form of combat. Like, you can see what they're going for, right? Like the whole the cycle of revenge, right? You know, one revenge begets another revenge, and the circle just goes on, and then Naruto and Sasuke will just pop out of nowhere and just start having a fight. You can see what they're going for, right? But
I'm just a going over home.
I'll soon be free from earthly trial. This body red in the old churchyard. I'll drop this cross of self-denial and go singing home to God. I'm going there to see my Savior. I'm going there, no more to I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I'm just a going.
Take him.